till the day I die. Hey, swing those hips around. Can't stop, roll back down. My ladies, short, tall, thin or wide, always down and ready to ride.
Hey everybody, I'm Tim and welcome to Cigars Daily Live, coming to you from sunny Phoenix, Arizona, with a specialized episode, one that will have the imprint of our autographs forever, because somehow we always take a leak on this thing and sort of pissing everybody's Cheerios with something we say or do, but that's kind of the point. This is Cigars Daily Live. It's sort of like your local lounge, only online. We hang out together and solve all the world's problems, only to later do nothing about it. My name is Tim, and I'm the host of this show. And all of you watching at home, you are the co-host. And if it's your first time joining us, I'm so glad you're here, because tonight we talk about a colossal topic, and that is the signature of blending perfection.
Mm-hmm.
You see, there's something about making elite cigars that's about creating a signature blend that gives something that's unique, something that's complex, something that's deep, that leaves you wanting more, but at the same time lets you forget the problems of the world. And that's one of the things I love about cigars, especially tonight during this episode. Now, drop your cigar comments and questions down below, because we're literally going to take them all throughout the episode. I'm not going to take them. Instead, I'm going to get help from our studio production crew to take them. The other guys, you can ask them comments on the channel as well. Sitting behind the camera is Billy of the Cock of the Walk. And sitting next to him is Senor El Rey Del Terrence.
How y'all fellas doing tonight? And gentle ladies, how y'all doing?
I want to put this out there. Terrence didn't come to this show wearing that hat. He came to staff meeting this morning at 8 o'clock wearing that cowboy hat. Like, this is legitimately what Terrence is like. That's not like
when I think of a cowboy,
Yeah.
I think of Terrence.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, me too.
Really?
He's like the Marlboro man. He is.
Ooh, that is the greatest compliment I've gotten in a long time. Yes, thank you.
Not the Newport beer. All right, let's keep going. No.
Newport man.
I think the Newport man is just a guy with half an afro, half braids, and he's like, "Come on, man, 50 cents. That's all I need, bro."
Like Terrence wears that hat the whole day, and Billy, that Billy Cock of the Walk hat sits on the table by that laptop all week long. Like somebody made that for you, right, Billy?
Yes.
Billy's reading
Well, they
comments right
sent
now,
it
so
to us. Yeah. You
All right.
can't ask me what I'm reading. You
I'm
know,
sorry.
once I
I'm
start
sorry.
reading.
I'm sorry. It's hard when you're hooked on phonics. You can't. It's
Yeah.
hard to let go. Okay. For this episode, everyone. Oh, by the way, no Ryan tonight. He's not here. He's doing. So he's at it's a Cucks Anonymous convention that's in town. He's gone to that. He's getting some help, and thank God. You know, he also said that while he's there, he's going to figure out what edging is.
Those corners are all super full.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, is it like one hotel room, but it's all filled with those extra corner chairs, and they're all just kind of staring at each other, and they're like, "Who's gonna start talking?"
And there's just like nothing in the middle, and everyone's
It's
on that side.
it's an oddly shaped room that's just a corner every 10 feet, and it's like the shape of a octagon, and the guys just put their chairs back. Okay, that's weird. Sorry, Ryan, and we know his wife is not watching this. Thank God. All right, I want to take some comments from the fine people at home. We do have a profound amount to do tonight, but just to let you guys know, later on during this episode, we are going to go to Rumble for the after party, although Cigars Daily Plus is down for some scheduled maintenance.
Mhm.
And also, Leroy's like, also, no Cigars Daily Plus? What's going on? So here's the sitch. Cigars Daily Plus came down with some sort of sickness. It's not even a bug. It's got a cold. It's got something, and literally got people working on that as we speak. So there you go. Oh, Erin Mullins is here. She must be waiting for Ryan to come home. Hi, Erin. Tell Ryan we are all pulling for him. Okay.
Or is he pulling for us?
That was well played.
Oh, Father, forgive us. All right.
Oh no.
Woo. Darren says AOL upgrades. If that was what I was going on, I would be really, really happy. All right. Anyway, Cigars Daily Plus will either be back up next week or I'll delete the entire website. I don't know. I'll let you guys know when I decide what I'm going to do. All right. Let's do an episode about cigars. For tonight's episode, everybody around the studio has the same cigar. This behold, the Montecristo Espada signature.
Yeah.
Now, here's what I want to say about this. I am not the Montecristo fanboy. I don't dislike Montecristo cigars. I actually love the history behind Montecristo, which is that, you know, when communism took over Cuba and everybody had to make do and cigar makers had to give up their field, factory, farm, and even their family names, Castro said, all these things are mine now. Many of them just left. And one of those guys was Benji Menendez, who, as the story goes, at the time owned H. Upmann and Montecristo cigars in Cuba. And Benji Menendez also very famously, the man who sold all of the cigars to JFK right before JFK signed the embargo. Well, Benji, who left Cuba at that time, put literally tobacco seeds in his pockets, got on a plane with his family and got the hell out of there and started over. That's why today there's a Montecristo in Cuba and another Montecristo in the Dominican Republic and Nicaragua that is literally on the global market, a direct competitor with the Cuban Montecristo. The two companies are diametrically opposed, have the same name. And of course, there's also been trade name stuff going on for the last however many, 60, 70, 80 years about all this stuff?
Yeah, like 80
60?
years, yeah.
No, 80 years is too long. 20 and then 40 is 19. Yeah, about 80 years. Gosh darn it, I remember when 80 years ago meant we were talking about World War II. It's amazing. Where does the time go? Anyway, Montecristo is a spectacular brand. They've been making cigars for 88 years. And I think that they make some quality blends. They make a lot of elite blends, a lot of stuff like there's like Montecristo and Cohiba and like Plasencia are a lot of the top tier, top shelf brands. I personally am more of a blue collar guy. Literally wearing a blue collar for this episode. Made of denim. Okay, it's a big deal. But when it comes to what cigars in the past have personally blown my mind so far that there's nothing left inside my head, the Montecristo Espada signature is one of them. If I could, people ask all the time, it's the gotcha question for cigar makers, cigar aficionados, for anyone in the cigar industry. People say, what is that? What is your desert island cigar? What's your favorite cigar? What's the one cigar that if you could only smoke the cigar for the rest of your life, what would it be? I have a hard time answering that. But if I made a short list, oh, you better believe top 5 cigars, the Montecristo Espada signature would be on it. We're going to talk about this more on the after party on Rumble, not on Cigars Daily Plus, which is in scheduled maintenance. All right.
You need to put the little like computer with the like thermometer in its mouth and like it's all sick.
Wrap it up and with some soup. Yeah.
At this point, it would just be an emblem of a computer lying in a pool of its own blood and me standing over it with an axe. Anyway, all right, let's just move on with the show. Like I didn't say that. Billy, what's going on in the comments? Let's get some comments. Drop your cigar comments and questions down below. We got a ton to cover. I'm going to give you guys some first looks at some stuff, and then we got some pick of the weeks to do. Go for it, Billy.
There's a comment from Julie Floor for Terrence. I can't put it up. I have to edit.
You're going to edit the comment.
So your best Julie Floor. No, I'm joking.
She has some very dirty words in here, so I have to spruce it up.
Dirty words.
Terrence, thanks for helping John with his bleep today.
Whoa. Whoa. Terrence.
Hey, it's what I do.
I don't think that's what we pay you to do here.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
He was being a cheap bleep and tried to double up on the bleep.
Can we bleep comments for the rest of the time? This is going great. I hope he tipped you, man.
I don't know
Wait,
if
I
he
can do
has
that?
learned his lesson yet.
Wow.
Yeah.
John, it's always great to help. We notice things like that, so we try to reach out whenever we see something that's a little bit off. So we'll get you taken care of anytime.
I'm pretty sure, like, I know I can go find that comment and read it, but I'm having a hard time imagining the context where that's not really filthy. So
Here you go. I started so you can go read it.
I don't even care anymore. I'm just gonna imagine it as I want to. Okay, take one that we can read in context. Julie, you dirty bird. John, you apparently even
dirty
worse.
bird.
Ryan is currently going to a support meeting you might need to check out.
Whoa,
All right, let's keep,
whoa.
let's keep going. Matt Coin. Oh, hold on. I want Matt Coins first.
Ah, sorry. You good? No.
The bleeps make it sound dirtier, but yes.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right, Billy, go for it.
Whiskey Jam says, anyone see the ass kicking the USA put on Canada the other night?
Well, that actually brings me to a segment that we do every so often on this show called Get That Man a Cigar. This is where we celebrate exceptional people for exceptional skills who, based on what they've done, may have earned a cigar. This week, we're celebrating the United States hockey team. Apparently, and I was so shocked when I heard this, and just to be clear, when it comes to the United States these days, nothing should surprise any of us anymore. We should all get up every day, gird our loins, and get ready for whatever the hell comes down from on high. This one, though, was a hell of a surprise. And I don't want to give a lot of ado to this, but I need to say up front to our Canadian viewers, we love you. We think you're great. In the cigar community, we are all friends and family. And that's one of the wonderful things about it. This right here was just spectacularly amazing. So if you've not heard about this, you can read about it on the news. But the gist of this is, and the sports fans will correct me in the comments if I get any of this wrong. There we go. During this hockey game between the U.S. hockey team and the Canadian hockey team, the Canadian folk in the crowd, and this is a home Canadian game, so it was in Canada, right? All of the Canadians there started booing the United States national anthem. Now, if you're not from the United States or Canada, you may not know we don't like that. And so when they booed the whole thing, I don't know what happened between our team. I don't know if they spoke with each other before the game.
They
I don't
all
know
gave each other the look.
I don't know if they sent a group text message or they just gave each other the look, or it was telepathy. But we had 3 fights in the first 9 seconds of the game, which were basically all Americans attacking Canadian players. And that's not even the best part. After that, the American team whooped up on the Canada team and just crushed them during the game. I don't. Did they win 3-1?
It was 3-1. Yeah,
3-1 in the game. That's a shutout. That's almost a shutout in sports.
Yeah.
Now, I would be just as happy as if this happened against any team other than Canada. It could have been the Mexican hockey team, the Jamaican hockey team. I don't care. It could have been any hockey team.
Cool runnings too.
Cool skatings. If it was any hockey team and they booed the national anthem of the United States and we whooped up on them like that, I'd be just as excited. But yes, if you're American today, you are once again unjustifiably arrogant about this, as we all are, and the world knows it. Everybody on the world stage knows it. And if you're a Canadian hockey player today, you're maybe a little bit humbled.
Nissan 570 SX says Canada played like bleep.
You guys tainted our players.
Oh,
Tainted the world's population since 1943.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Yeah, okay, so there you go. Amazing. And put that screen grab up again, will you? This is just one of my favorite screen grabs of all time. It's just like, that is, the ref is like, wait, hey, man, don't do that, okay? There you go. All right, well, you attacked him then.
Goodness.
All
I
right.
think after each fight, the Canadians are like, hey, thanks for that beatdown. That was a good beatdown.
That was a really respectable beatdown there, okay?
And thanks. Eh?
All right. I don't know how that works. Apparently, fighting is allowed in hockey.
Until they hit the ground. Yes.
Until
sir.
they hit the ground, because that's what it looked like. I was watching the replay, as I'm sure most Americans did today, and it looked like when they went to the ground, the ref stopped it.
Yep.
But before that, when one of the American players punches a Canadian player in the face, tears his helmet off and hits him in the face, it's just like, oh wow. Like in my sport, that's not allowed. And I'm a boxer, okay? We have to keep our headgear on to hit each other in the head. Anyway. Raphael says, fighting is tolerated, LOL. thing that we want to be in America, it's tolerant. Ian says, I hope at least one of them yelled America while laying the smacketh down. Did you just yell? Did you shout America?
As you stepped on the accelerator?
All right, there we go. Get that man a cigar. And that is the entire U.S. hockey team. There you go. Now, let's keep cruising. I want to get some comments from the fine people. And I want to hear, quite frankly, from you guys, Billy and Terrence. I've been raving on and on about this Montecristo Espada signature as I have some of these at home. Here's my issue, and I bitch about this constantly. Limited edition, limited run, limited production cigars. I traditionally hate them because if you have a love affair with one, the way that I have with the signature, what do you do when it's gone? I was not told that the signature was limited production when it first came out. So one day I call my friend at Montecristo and I'm like, hello, I'll take some more boxes. And they're like, nope, that's gone. And I was crushed. I was shattered. I went into maintenance mode, and I thought that was going to be gone forever. And now it's back. I couldn't be more excited, but I literally have a handful of Espada signatures that are 2 years aged on them now at home because I won't light them up because once they're gone, I didn't know if I'd ever get them again. Now that I'm going to get a full box of these for myself, which I've got literally a lot of boxes actually. So I already have them. And then I'm going to save them forever and light up the ones that I've been saving for the last 2 years. Anyway, what do you guys think? You guys have been lighting it up, and you've also heard me go on about this cigar, pining for the fjords with this thing. What?
I've got no idea what a fjord is. Is that like a geographical thing?
That's my people's thing.
Okay, my fault.
Fjords are not your thing. There are things.
Yeah, it sounds a little bit too cold for that. We some tropical people. Yeah,
I think pining for the fjords means you've died, actually.
Oh.
I think it means that you've died. My only reference for that word is Monty Python. There's a Monty Python sketch where the guy tries to return a dead parrot. Lots of people watching this show are going to know exactly what I'm talking about. And he goes, he's pining for the fields. He's moved on. All right.
But Billy, what do you think about this cigar?
Yeah, what do you think about the damn cigar, Billy?
The first time I had this cigar was at your house, Tim. You gave it to me.
Ooh,
and
yeah,
I was lighting it up, you're just staring me in the eyes. You're like, how is it? I'm like, Tim, I haven't even tried. I'm still like toasting the foot. You're like, oh, okay.
You don't always make someone keep eye contact with you while they're smoking a cigar that you gave them. But I've been known to do it.
I would say what stands out on this cigar is it starts off super dry. Like crazy dry. Like think of your driest red wine. And that's the first, I don't know, few puffs. And then it super smooths out and all the flavor kicks in.
Okay.
Instead of like a pepper bomb, it's like a dry bomb.
Okay.
Dry. So you're just still at the outset here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not that far in.
Terrence.
For me, I love the balance of the cigar. There's some sweetness. There's a little bit of leather, a little bit of nuttiness, a little bit of undeveloped wood. All together, they all get their time on stage, and they all are really respectable and nice, kind of like Canadians in a line of flavors that are on my palate. And I'd really enjoy that. There's nothing harsh about it. Very round, spherical, even flavor profile. But it's definitely been a really enjoyable, smooth smoke. But the little bit of like sweet cedar and like almost like a caramel finish, I have to say.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
This is, and I didn't want to like play this on before we got started here, but here's the truth. Here's the thing about this cigar that gets me. There are cigars that are what you call light-bodied cigar, medium-bodied, full-bodied, which is different to me than strength. Okay, there's mild strength, medium strength, and full strength cigars. A lot of Maduros and broadleafs are full strength. They're really powerful cigars. This is a medium strength cigar without like real like spice or black pepper or anything like that. It is full bodied. The volume of flavor in the cigar runs fills out the palate across the tongue, all the way through the retrohale, voluminous flavor notes. What I call a, I forget the word now, satiating flavor. Just like to the point where when I'm done with this, my palate almost feels worn out from all that's gone on. So I don't find a lot of cigars that come with that really full volume of flavor so often. There's a lot of cigars with a lot of flavor. There's cigars that aren't like super full bodied, but are really complex and have a nice depth of complexity of flavor. And so there's a lot of different flavor notes in it. This isn't the craziest, most complex cigar that I've ever had. It's just like everything fills all of the senses all the way through. Yeah, that's the thing I appreciate. Okay.
It's like a full-bodied flavor fest on the palate. You know what I mean? Like it's just a lot going on.
Tim, will you go look in Starred? Am I allowed to pull Will Fededit? He's the last one.
We can talk about that on is for anybody asking questions about information that could ever have to do with anything like pricing or anything like that. We can't talk about that on this platform. Our channel would get shut down. And if you see other channels doing it, like, yeah, I get it. Some of the smaller channels get away with it. We can't. Okay. And that's been made abundantly clear to us by YouTube. So,
guys.
I mean, I'll tell you this. Somebody asked about what they retail. Go to Five Guys and get a burger and add bacon to it. Don't get the fries. About that. How's that sound? Does that seem about good?
That's about accurate. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait, so you got to pull out a second mortgage?
Yeah. Will says, sorry, didn't know that. Will, how the hell would you know that, right? You go watch a video, you expect to be able to just ask the questions that are in your head like anybody should be able to do.
Yeah.
I can't put a thing on here that says, you can't do it. Okay. Let's keep cruising. I want to take a couple more comments. We got a lot more to do tonight. Just so you know, I mentioned earlier that we put Cigars Daily Plus in maintenance mode, so there won't be an after party on Plus, but we are going to continue the show on Rumble. We have a couple other choice bits on Rumble, but that is actually where you can go to even learn more about Daily Con. Daily Con is coming up March 29th. We are having a rough and tumble big deal shindig at the Cigars Daily HQ. Lots of food, lots of amazing company, axe throwing, and Eric Espinosa is going to be in the house. It'll be my first chance to get a look at the Espinosa Daily Edition Echo Hail. And this is also, some of you, the first look that you're going to get at it, and what we've done with the design. If you know the Echo Hail, it's typically this bat, and it's in black, and it's got silver around it. I decided on orange and white because the actual wrapper of the Echo Hail is this like obsidian dark wrapper. And I think this is going to pop right off the damn thing. So lots to look forward to there. Think Desert Walker, dark Sumatra wrapper, ultra rich, like fuller bodied cigar, like we were just talking about, but also complexity in it. Yeah. Okay.
I've decided I'm only coming if I can try and beat the American Canadian hockey team record of 3 fights within
the first 9 seconds.
Yeah.
That should be easy to do. I know some of the people who are coming to this. All right. Learn more about that during the after party. We're going to go to that on Rumble in about 35, 40 minutes. Now, Mr. Billy, the fine people are leaving comments, and let's not leave them out of the episode. What do they got?
There's one I wanted to pull. 1 second.
Excellent.
I have to find it. Here we go.
There we go.
Shane Hotelling, CEO Billy. How did Jim handle finding out that he wasn't Tim's quote unquote partner? Yeah, I talked to Jim about it the following day on the show, and he's like, I don't think this occurred to him that the word partner means boyfriend. And he's like, oh yeah, like I hadn't thought about that either. Maybe we should change that. And I was like, no, like, yeah, I say, I actually, ever since that episode, all week long, when I send emails, it's like my business partner, Jim. Dang it. Anyway, it's another one of the words that the gay community took from us. Partner. All right. Partner. Yeah, all those cowboys out there are like, hey, partner. And they're like, I am your partner, daddy. All right.
I
let's
mean,
keep
we've
cruising.
all seen Brokeback Mountain. Yeah, I get it. I get it.
All right. What else are people talking about in the comments other than my boyfriend?
All right. If you can figure this one out, you win.
Johnny H. Cigars are typically made with one chosen filler blend. Are there cigars that are made with 2 or more separate blends, similar to barber pulls or half and half cigars, but filler, not the wrapper?
So are there cigars where the blend of filler leaves is different from cigar to cigar in the line? let me give you guys an overview of sort of the most common philosophies on blending that I have seen out there. And what you have to know about blending a cigar is quite simply this. The aim and the goal of making a cigar is creating an experience as consistently and reliably as you can, again and again and again and again. So for most guys, they will pick out a wrapper leaf that they like. The wrapper leaf on the Espada signature is a Nicaraguan leaf from the Jalapa Valley. It's a Colorado Claro leaf, a very specific leaf from a very specific growing region in Nicaragua. Also, this Montecristo cigar is produced by the Plasencia family with binder and fillers from Esteli, Nicaragua. So they pick out the wrapper leaf, they blend it together with the binder. They're looking for combustion rate along with the fillers. The filler leaves are typically a variation of leaves from the plant, which I left in this episode just in case I needed this beautiful image of a tobacco plant. They'll select which leaves of, Seco, of Viso, of Ligero, going further up the plant, all the way up to the Mata leaves at the top. They're going to select those leaves from different growing regions to make a singular blend, and that creates the experience. At that point, it's all about how you roll it. And because the economy of cigar making comes from having people roll the same blend over and over again, you don't want to mess with it a ton. So as a great example, when they sit down to roll in a factory, very often they'll have one blend going on in a rolling room for a long period of time, sometimes days or even a week at a time. They'll come in and say, hey, we're going to roll cigar X today in the Robusto size. And basically everybody's rolling cigar X in the Robusto size all day. The next day they may go to rolling cigar X in the Toro size, because these guys got to get good at dialing in that blend to make sure they get the consistency. When they blend multiple cigars in the same line, like you come up with the cigar X and you're going to do it in a Connecticut, a Habano, and a Maduro, very often, if they can, they'll just change the wrapper leaf and they'll keep the rest of the blend the same. This is a pretty common practice in the cigar world, though not everybody does this. Some of your more persnickety cigar makers, the top tier people, they will blend each size to be different, or they will re-blend each iteration of the blend. So the Connecticut's a different filler blend than the Habano. The Habano's a different blend than the Maduro. And that way they create either a more consistent feel across the line, or they've got to tweak something in the filler so that the Maduro gives the right experience. It's a complicated thing, but the idea is in the midst of something that's already pretty complicated, to keep it relatively simple. So are there blends where the filler changes? Probably only when the wrapper changes, or occasionally the filler will change when the size changes. So the Corona will have a slightly different balance of filler leaves than maybe the Churchill will. But it'll still be the same filler leaves. But no, like nobody's trying to roll cigar X where one cigar in the box has a different filler blend than the others. And the hard thing is the cigar consumer would be profoundly confused by this.
Oh yeah.
Because we're so used to looking for consistency in the cigar box. Do you have any clue what would happen if they rolled a cigar where they like a box of 20, 10 cigars taste one way and 10 taste another way? Every single cigar shop in America would be getting calls being like, my blankety blank cigars, they taste different. I think that they screwed up. So no, nobody's doing that as far as I know. Bada bing, bada boom. Long answer to a short question. Thank you.
I found another comment I want to read with bleeps.
Okay. Do it, dude.
You ready for this one?
Yeah.
Mr. Just Like That. Bruh, it was painful, but whatever. I still supported Cigars Daily, but it was just BS that they would blank me that for blank.
Wow.
Yeah.
That one, I kind of want to know what it means.
Oh.
Can you save that one so we can do it on the after party?
Yeah, it's saved there.
So we can blank it on the after party?
You can blank it on the after party.
All right. There's one in there, Billy, I really want to take. I'm going to pull this up so that I can blast out Steve Saka during this episode because, let's face it, I like to torture myself. Okay, there it is. Where is it? Andrew Handoff says, is Steve Saka retiring or is it a rumor? Now, this is something that came up this last week. I just saw this in my Facebook feed because Steve Saka posted. And let me just be clear: when Steve Saka puts down a Facebook post, most people would take that post, put it into a book, and sell it on Amazon because it's long. Like when Steve Saka, I don't know how Steve Saka blends cigars and posts on Facebook. Both of them seem like they would take about as much time as each other. His posts are typically very long. And he knows this. So he posts this thing on Facebook. Cigar Authority was talking with somebody from DE, I believe. And Steve Saka posted, said, I just learned that DTT is predicted to be bought out in 2025 by my friends at Drew Estate, according to the Cigar Authority. He says, as they remarked in the broadcast, if it was true, I would be forced to deny it due to a non-disclosure agreement that there are almost always executed as part of these type of mergers and acquisitions. So my saying it isn't true would mean nothing. And I would be forced to lie and deny it. Quite a quandary, huh? This is still Steve Saka talking. He said, so with this in mind, I will state this. I am getting $99,999,999.27 in cash and gold, a luxury penthouse in Miami Beach, and will officially be named head MFer in charge, and a 4 times life-size bronze statue of yours truly will be erected in Esteli in my honors. Damn, it's good to be the Khan. I'll say this. I don't believe Steve Saka is selling to someone from Drew Estate. I don't think that that's what he's doing and retiring. Although I wouldn't be 100% surprised, but I'd be like 80% surprised. That's all I'll say. I'll say that about it.
Steve, if you are retiring, Steven, if I may, you need to pass that information on to somebody for all this blending and whatnot.
You're looking, are you soliciting Steve Saka to be his protege?
Hell yeah. Yeah.
If Steve Saka was sitting, okay, let's do some role playing. All right.
I love this.
I'm younger Steve Saka. All right.
Okay.
And you are Terrence.
Okay.
And I've come to the Cigars Daily HQ to do Cigars Daily Live. And so let me just get into my best Steve Saka here. All right. Well, okay, cigars, blah, 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 a bunch of cigar stuff, and I'm going to talk forever, and everyone's going to watch because I'm Steve Saka, okay? Terrence, what did you want to say? Why are you, what?
I'm just saying, whenever you retire, you're going to need to pass this information along to somebody, and I think I'm a pretty decent candidate for that. What do you think, Steve?
No. See, that's the hard thing there. That's how Steve Saka rolls, bro.
And then I would just say, okay, I take rejection pretty well.
You really do. You take it surprisingly well. I mean, I don't know what Steve Saka would say. You know what I think Steve Saka would say? It reminds me of I'll tell you guys a brief story of somebody who Steve Saka'd me right in the nuts. I was in college and I was in choir. Okay. For those of you don't know, I went to college to be a music minister, and I got the chance to go to New York City and sing at Carnegie Hall. This is, of course, before I became a user of copious amounts of tobacco, which are slowly destroying my voice. Beside the point. So I'm at Carnegie Hall. Now, as a surprise to our group, they brought in John Rutter, who is a world famous composer. He composed an Alleluia piece that we were singing at Carnegie Hall. They brought in John Rutter to conduct us, which was like a super exciting thing for a bunch of virgins, right? Because if you're in choir, you're probably a virgin. And so John Rutter is there. He does the thing on the stage. We Alleluia, Alleluia. And then rehearsal's over. And everybody's just kind of taking in the fact that we're standing on the stage of Carnegie Hall hours before we're going to perform there for an audience. And John Rutter is sitting in the chairs making notes on a piece of staff paper. And I go down off the stage, and I'm also in conducting classes, learning how to not only conduct music, but orchestrate music and write music for large musical groups like orchestras and choirs. Kind of had it in my mind that writing orchestral music would be something I would enjoy because, once again, big virgin at the time. And I went down to John Rutter, and I said to him, I said, Mr. Rutter, Doctor, I forget what I called him at the time. I said, hey, I just wanted to ask if you had any input about like for a young guy who's looking into getting into choral composition. And he looked up from his piece of paper at me with kind of the wagging head, you know, for our podcast listeners, the head kind of wags. He looks at me, he goes, have you been doing this since you were 4 years old? And I said, no, sir. And he goes, then don't even try. And he just looks down at his paper and starts writing again. And that was it. That was the end of the conversation. I walked away with my tail between my legs and then got into tobacco. I was like, all right, well, fine. Suck it, John.
And now look at you. You performing more people than he in front of more people than he has, probably.
Oh, he's probably dead. That guy was super old. John Rudder, composer. Yeah, 79. He's 79 years old. Age 79 years old. Is he still alive? You bastard.
All
right,
let's get him on the show.
Let's get him on the show. I'll be like, I'll be crying. I'll be like, you suck it, John Rudder. I have followers now.
I am something.
I'm turned into something, John Rudder.
I haven't been smoking since I was 4.
Oh my God. All right, let's take some cigar questions from the people who are watching. Vandenbosch says, oh wow, Tim got rejected from a musical art school. Oh bro, if I put off the list of people I've been rejected by to you'd never stop laughing. Girls mostly, but let's continue.
Hey, we all been there, brother. It's
Yeah,
all
the
good.
list of famous people is short, the list of women is long. All right, let's see. I'm going to take J.W. McKinley here. John Rudder's Requiem is a great piece. Please don't say that about him. He's a great person. I'm just kidding. I was lucky and blessed to see it performed live. That's wonderful. Let's see. Thank you, John Rudder. Because of you, we now have Tim. I love it. Thank you, Julie Floor.
Silver linings.
She
Look
cleaned
at
it
that.
up for her next comment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, also, I can't say what I want to say. Never mind. Let's just move on. Let's move on with the show. All right. Keep dropping your cigar comments and questions down below. And Shane Ho telling no one quits the band.
No
He's
one
100%
quits the
right about that.
band.
Nobody quits the band, John. All right. Corey B. Also, nobody quits the band. That's 100%. Now you know where I got that from. Keep dropping your cigar comments and questions down below, and we will come back to them just as soon as we jump into a segment we do every week on this show called the Cigars Daily Nation Pick of the Week. Now, of course, during this episode, all of us around the studio have the Montecristo Espada Signature, a cigar with satiating flavor, a cigar that the signature of the cigar is a wide, very voluptuous flavor profile.
That feels great on the tongue.
Feels great. It's got wonderful mouthfeel. Really fills out the mouth. Okay. But right now we're going to do for the pick of the week is we are going to dive into some pictures from the Cigars Daily Nation Facebook group and members there, because people post stuff in the group, mostly because of this show, that is loosely related to cigars. Here's the first one. This picture is from David M. For our podcast listeners, what we're looking at here is a jet black chicken. And there's 4 pictures here. And one of these 4 pictures is some very black eggs. In the bottom left-hand corner, there appears to be someone sort of edging the chicken's mouth, stuffing his hand in the chicken's mouth, apparently to show the chicken has a black tongue. And it says, a Maduro, David M. says, a Maduro with Indonesian binder and filler chicken for Billy. Now, Billy, I'd leave this up there, Terrence, for a second, if you will. Now, obviously, when you see a post like this on social media, the first thing you do is you go to the comments.
Oh, yeah.
And I immediately thought of a comment, since this was clearly for Billy, which naturally I said, how Billy likes it. Which seemed natural to me, but I didn't ask Billy. And I bring this up because Billy doesn't actually go on Facebook. So this is the only exposure Billy gets to it. So, Billy, is this actually how you like it, or am I speaking out of turn?
Bro, these chickens freak me out.
So hold on a second. Are you telling me this is not AI?
This is not AI.
I instantly assumed this was AI.
So, Billy, when you see these chickens, do you lock your windows?
I walk to the other side of the street. I have my girls. I'm like, come here, girls.
Come here, girls. What? What?
Do they clutch their purses?
What? The hell are we looking at here, Billy?
That is a a ayam samani, or however you pronounce it,
Of course it is.
and it's an
Oh, I knew that.
everything on that chicken is black from its, like, you can see he's showing you his tongue, but like its intestines, everything inside the chicken is just jet black. I don't know, they kind of freak me out.
Let's see. Caleb Erosa says those eggs cost more than the cigar. How much are their eggs? Can we fact check that really quick, Billy? Can you find a dozen of the black chicken's eggs?
Which is crazy because eggs is already through the roof right now.
Eggs, yeah, they're already through the roof. I'm gonna just take some comments here, even though I really
So the chicken itself is $2,500.
2,500. How much is a regular chicken? And by comparison,
So I bought 10 chickens and had it USPS shipped, or United States Postal Service. I missed an S there. To my house overnighted for $46.
and this with one of these black chickens is $2,500.
Yeah, you can get unsexed eggs for $45 for a minimum.
Bro. Okay. That is a legitimate, by the way, a legitimate BBC. Can I just
It is.
throw that out
Yeah.
there? That's the real deal Holyfield. It doesn't get any more real than that.
I concur.
I don't see a lot of comments I can take here. Chris says, Chris Casperson says, Maduro chicken. There you go. Yes, thank you.
There we go.
Kent Brewer says black yolk too. I wonder. The yolk shouldn't be, if it's black, is that okay? That's where the dark meat comes from. John White. Just everybody's posting stuff I can put up on YouTube. Thank you so much.
Weiss.
Sorry. Dan says
yolks are not
$5.99 roasted and ready to eat. Yeah, I would say so. What do you say, Billy?
Yolks are not black. Those
Yeah.
are normal yolks.
Okay.
Yeah. Aldemir says no black yolk. There's a lot of people Googling these black chickens at home. And some people are going to get stuck on the wrong side of the internet and probably stay there for the rest of the night. Please come back to
I'm
the show.
surprised that Billy didn't open up an incognito tab to look up the descriptor words for these chickens.
Some probably Julie Floors at home right now, like BBC. And
BBC, just at her computer, just BBC. Oh my gosh, John, I'm so sorry. All right,
John, is this what you were doing with earlier?
is this what the bleeps were? All right, let's keep cruising. We do have more pick of the weeks this week, and I want to bring this up because I really respect and appreciate when something is done and done very well. One of those things is posting online. The internet's allowed all of us to contribute, which is what this show is about. You guys are all contributors when you comment on this show and subscribe and follow the page. Thank you guys for being here to do this. And I love it when people do it in the Cigars Daily Nation Facebook group. This next one is from Matt C. Matt C says, a couple of quote unquote artsy picks for no particular reason. He's got himself an EP Carrillo Essence Honduras. And I love the color of blue that's on the band of that cigar. Some smoke, sort of silky smoke rolling off the cigar. Matt really did some nice pictures
Some
for
great
this.
bokeh, nice roll off.
is
as
that
well.
cigar that dark, or is that?
No, it's that dark. Yes.
Mhm.
He hasn't color corrected it. And it looks very good. It looks like he's used some sort of filter to darken the background. He's done a good job here. And I'll say this, if you're going to take a picture of a cigar in your hand, you got to be careful because some of us have ugly hands. But Matt clearly has some good looking hands.
Manicured fingernails.
He clips his fingernails. He doesn't bite them. Like Matt got his stuff together, clearly.
I'd shake his hand.
I'd shake his hand too. And I was just scrolling around the internet as I do. And I'm curious about this because in terms of hand models, you don't see this. I found another great hand model that is doing some exceptional work. And I wanted to share this image with you as well. Terrence, throw that one up. Oh my gosh, would you look at that?
Gosh.
So for our podcast listeners,
Jeez, I'm so.
let me just intricately explain this. If you've watched the show before, you know that Terrence apparently has a thing about feet, specifically feet on the furniture. He thinks it's disgusting. However, the picture I'm looking at right now is in Bunny Rojas. Ew, 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 ew.
Thank you, Bunny.
Vomit from Whiskey Gin. The picture that we're looking at is a sesame seed hamburger bun. In between the bun is lettuce, tomato, a hamburger patty, and 2 female feet with this toe sticking out and a French manicure. Now, Chris Krim asked the question, is that Terrence?
No,
Yes.
it's not. It's
There is a hamburger bun around this woman's feet. So her feet are part of the hamburger, if you guys get it. But the hand itself is black. Okay.
yeah.
Now, I'm not gonna lie. I saw this picture just randomly scrolling on the internet and noticed that the black was similar to what I call Terrence Black. Okay? A similar shade to my friend Terrence, who is on this show. Terrence, will you put yourself up on the screen real quick? There it is. There it is.
Is this what you made me take a picture for? Wait, no. He
Yeah,
just came
yeah.
up to me. He's like, "Hey, take a picture of you. Let me take a picture with your arm out." I was like, "What is this for?"
Yeah, I said, can you just
What?
put your hand out? And then
What?
I said, will you
Oh
hold your
my
wrist up like
gosh,
this?
Tim.
All I wanted to do was take Photoshop and put that picture there just to see if it looked sort of like a Terrence. And now I have to very honestly ask you, Terrence, do you have something to tell us?
No, not at all. Because if I
Something
take my
tell-
rings off, I have tan lines, and that does not have rings on.
I want to see these tan lines.
I want to see the picture again. Hold on. You go ahead and take your rings off, Terrence, because
Yeah.
I got control over here too. Yeah, there it is. No tan lines. I'll say that for sure. I'm zooming in here. Those are some well French manicured toes. I'll say that.
Wait,
You are.
here you go.
Is that Ryan's foot for Kevin
Right there, you can see.
That makes me so happy.
I do have tan lines from these rings.
All right, there we go. Our foot fetish
Also,
crowd is
can
going
just
nuts right now.
Point up how it looks like that's Jimmy in the back where I'm holding his toes.
Yeah,
in the
I
burger.
did. I actually spent. If you guys are looking at the picture, Jimmy, who's part of the studio audience tonight. He's sitting back in the lounge, and the legs of the woman line up just about perfectly with Jimmy. I'll say this: I spent more time editing this picture so that those legs line up with your body than I did trying to make the hand line up with Terrence's body. It's honest to God truth. Jay Michael says, I want to believe Terrence, but those paws look too similar. I
What do
agree.
you
Let's
know
just
my
take another-
hands look like, bro?
All right, we can take it down.
Oh,
Let's see.
It's not me.
It's not you. I want to see it again. There you go. Yeah, I feel like it's a pretty striking similarity.
The worst
there.
thing is that the complexion matches my face like
Identical?
identically. Yes.
And I'll say this though. I'll say this. Here's the honest to God truth. Terrence's hands are lighter than his face. So while
Yes.
that person's hand is the same color as Terrence's hands aren't the same color as that hand. So it can't be him. We've proved it undeniably. There we go. Drop your cigar, comments and questions down below.
Cigar comments and questions.
Cigar
guys.
comments and questions. We got plenty more to talk about tonight. We're going to be headed to the after party where you can learn more about the Montecristo Espada, a signature.
Mm.
And you can learn about Daily Con. March 29th, in-person gathering of some of the most amazing people in the world. Axe throwing going to be at Daily Con. It's going to be an absolute blast. Join us there. Let's get to some cigar comments and questions down below.
We actually have cigar questions and comments.
Wow, I'm shocked. I'm shocked because
Thank goodness.
I literally told before the pick of the week, I knew that we were going. I said to everybody, post your comments and questions, and then I kind of in my mind the gears turned, and it was like, no, we're going to talk about BBCs and Terrence and a foot fetish, and I was sure we'd come out with none. So, give me one, Billy.
Well, these comments are all before.
That's
that,
fine.
kid.
I don't
Yeah.
care.
Okay,
Yeah, let's
good,
get some.
good.
People can drop new comments down below. I'm going to catch up with the newest comments, and so Billy, take a couple old
We have
comments, and then we'll catch
cigar
up.
lounge tips.
Okay. Okay.
This is a tip for Cigar Lounge.
Yep.
Chris CPU says, question for the mob. Is it bad to drop ash at a cigar lounge?
Cash.
Wait, what? Oh, cash. Oh, sorry. Let me try. Is it bad to drop cash at a cigar lounge as a tip to smoke a cigar that you like and they don't carry?
So like you're bringing
So
your
you
own
bring in your
cigar.
own cigar and you just
Mm.
tip them out?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, well, I don't know. It's different everywhere you go. Some
Yeah.
places charge a cutting fee. In some places, they don't care. In some places, the rule is just no, you can't. I would say the SOP, right, for going into a cigar lounge with your own cigar is ask. They may want to charge you a cutting fee. I'd say if you get a cigar at the lounge, you should be allowed to smoke whatever you want. After you've gotten a cigar, it's the same thing as like if I stop at a coffee shop and I got to pee, I'll buy a cup of coffee and use the bathroom because I want to support the place.
There we go.
So I go buy my $2 cup of coffee. I get the door bathroom code. I go in there, I go to the bathroom, I drink my coffee, and I leave.
Wait, where are you getting coffee for $2 a cup?
Circle K.
Ah.
And I'll do it at Circle K too, even though they're a giant corporation. Like if I'm going to utilize a place, I'll patronize the place. Like I'm
There
not
we
just going to go use the facilities for free and leave. I feel like that's respectful. At some places they don't care, and if there's a tip jar, like yeah, tip the guy out. He probably appreciate it. He would like that. I mean, it's like cigar shop employees aren't used to like large tips. They don't get probably a lot of tips through the day. Like cigar people come in and are like, I don't like tipping already. And so they, the guy probably leaves with $5 to $11 and in an 8-hour shift of working at a cigar shop. So yeah. All right, here we go. Chris Krim, by the way, says, I stand with Tim. He's in the bathroom right next to me every time I go do it. Let's keep cruising. Give me another comment there, Billy. This one's from Shane Hotelling, the only person whose name I've learned how to pronounce correctly and remembered. Why do brick and mortars offer to cut cigars through the cello? I never understood that. This is super duper simple. Cutting a cigar, and I actually was in this premium cigar industry for probably 8 years or so before I saw someone do this. I went to a cigar lounge, and the lady just takes all my cigars and through the cellophane snips off all the tips of the cigars, just cuts them for me. I was like, what in the world? Seems like a unnecessary way to dull out the cutter. But if somebody's traveling, like you got to decipher the different type of people who go into a lounge or into a brick and mortar. Most people in the cigar community who are dyed-in-the-wool cigar aficionados are box guys. They get large samplers. They have a collection at home. Cigars are part of a rotation. There's an economy to what you do. And so when you go get a handful of cigars or a box of cigars, you want to treat them the way you want to treat them. But at the same time, there's a lot of guys in the cigar world who aren't that way. They get 2 or 3 cigars when they're going to go golf. And their on-hand collection at home is 0 cigars. These are people who don't own anything other than a lighter, maybe, or they take a book of matches. So for a lot of like brick and mortars, they can just count on snipping them for the people or offer that to you and say, do you want these cut? And it's a pretty natural thing to do. I think it makes good sense, although I have never cut cigars through the cellophane before for anyone.
I've done it before.
You've done that before?
Yeah.
Like did someone ask you to? Like, what was the scenario there?
So like if somebody's coming in and they're like, hey, can you cut these for me? I just cut them through the cellophane. And as I'm doing it, I'm a person who explains what I'm doing. So I'm like, hey, I'm going to put this into a bag with humidification, or let me grab this. But I have cut the cigars to the cellophane, let them know, hey, my hands are clean, but I don't want to get my oils on your cigar, my hand oils onto your cigar. So you get the most pure form of it. I don't know how persnickety some guys are. Some guys watch one YouTube video and think they know every single thing about cigars on the planet. So just to alleviate all of that, I just cut through the cellophane. I'll let them know, hey, I cut through the cellophane so my hand oils aren't on your cigar, so you can have the most pure.
I actually respect that a lot, because considering the fact that your hand oils have likely also been
my God.
showcased in Foot Fetish magazine, I think that's the only respectful and responsible thing that you can do, man. Good on you. Good on you, Terrence. All right, let's keep
my
going.
hands be greasy, guys. I got to cut through the cello.
Keep it going, Billy. Give me some more comments and questions.
I got to preface this one that every now and then there is a handle name that I think steps above it, because you've got like Devin. Yeah, you're just using your name. This next handle name.
Suck it, Devin. All right,
Suck
keep
it,
going.
Devin.
Somebody's got a great handle.
Great handle.
Okay.
You
go
ready
for it.
for it?
Out of sight. Billy, why is this colloquialism from like the early 90s?
Please read.
Oh, I'm blind and new. Oh, okay. All right. Sorry, out of sight. I'm guessing you can probably hear what I'm saying, and I apologize. I'm blind and new. That is a spectacular handle. Thank you. A wonderful colloquialism from the 90s, matched up perfectly with the fact that you apparently can't see. I'm blind and new. What would a trustworthy salesman recommend? Wow. Okay.
So he's new. He's blind. He's going into a local B&M.
Okay.
How does he know someone's not ripping him off?
So the first thing I want to know is if you have out of sight, do you have a mode or method for making sure that the ember part of the cigar is facing away from your mouth before you light, before you puff on it? And I only ask that because I know a lot of guys who can see, who have put the lit ember of a cigar into their mouth. There's hands going up in the studio right now.
Yeah, that's me.
That being said, what you said, what would a trustworthy person recommend?
Yeah.
You know, for new people, there's just a lot of ways to think about this. Like, I don't think you can necessarily go wrong. I would go with some categories here. If you go in and the first and only cigar recommended to you is something hyper elite, I wouldn't necessarily bite on that. I'd wonder what kind of establishment you've gone into. Because as an aficionado is developing their palate, as they're growing their capacity for flavor notes, there's nothing wrong with starting with a more affordable cigar and trying a lot of different things. This is what a lot of aficionados will do. And so you almost can't go wrong in trying a lot of different stuff. Like, now listen, there are some brands out there that are trash, but there are people that like these trash brands.
Yeah.
There are some brands out there that are great, and there are people out there that can't stand the great brands. Really, ultimately, the goal is for any aficionado is to make your way through the different selections to find something that really suits the individual palate. And so if someone's recommending stuff, as long as they're not recommending the same brand every time you go and see them, as long as they're not recommending the same wrapper every time, giving you some variety, they're probably giving you a good walkabout through the world of cigars. Now, the other thing is almost any cigar vendor is going to be recommending stuff maybe that they personally have liked before. And so if you're going to the same establishment and talking with the same person or the same group of people, you know, eventually breaking away from their recommendations into something you heard about somewhere else might expose you to brands or cigar makers or a style of blending that's different to what's been recommended to you from one guy at one shop. And that's a good thing too. Really, the idea is to break it up and break into a bunch of different stuff. There's so much like beer and whiskey because there's so much diversity. There's so much different stuff out there now that it almost doesn't make sense to go back to something unless it satiates the palate the way that the Montecristo Espada signature does for my palate. Like, to me, this cigar is just worth returning to again and again. There you go.
You need to apologize for microaggression.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Can we do that?
Yeah.
Wait, I thought DEI was
Is there a comment about it?
No. When you were explaining it to out of sight, you said when you go and see the same.
Oh. All right. Sorry. Well, I used the word see metaphorically.
Yeah. When you
Yeah.
go visit.
When you touch the cigars. Sorry about that.
All right.
Okay.
We got to get into.
Did out of sight leave another comment, or did
He did. I've been
immediately log
looking.
off?
I have it. He's like, screw you guys.
Screw you
I'm
guys.
going home.
Sons of bees.
We got to get into quick hits.
Okay.
We got a bunch to do in the next 2.5 minutes.
Yep.
Let's get them.
Here we go. Quick,
Quick
hits,
hits.
everybody.
These are going to be me answering comments very quickly. Here we go. Matt Coyne says, "Is Terrence auditioning for the reboot of Justified?" I'm going to let Terrence
It's
answer
not a
that.
Disney movie, so
Yeah, answer
I'll
it very
answer
quickly.
that on the after party.
Excellent. Next quick hit.
here we go.
Damon Virgil says, "What do you guys think of the EP Carrillo Endure?" The EP Carrillo Endure is a very complex cigar. The complexity of the blend itself is matched only by EPC's 15th anniversary.
Yeah.
And when Mikey, the blender for Ernesto Perez Carrillo, came out here, I did a video with him. He explained to me the number of different elements that go into that cigar. So it's a Mirafel Cameroon wrapper with like 7 or 8 different elements in the filler and a super aged binder leaf. And I thought that it really carried a nice bright sweetness to it. I can't wait to make a video talking about that cigar and the process of Mirafel Cameroon wrapper leaf. It's one of the most interesting, intricate, and unique processes of growing and selection that I've heard of anywhere.
Yeah.
Next quick hit.
That was not very quick, but
It was medium quick, Billy.
quick hits.
John Guerra says, "How old is a tobacco plant when it gets used? Will it taste different if you use a plant that is a year old?" Yes, 1,000%. It will be different. The average, your standard, I shouldn't say average, your standard is 3 years. 3 years is sort of the entry gateway to getting into where the leaf is good. So when they grow it in the field, it takes just months to grow. It's like 4-ish months.
It's a weed.
What's that?
It's a weed.
It's a weed. It's like the weeds that you cut down in your yard, you know, in Tobacconemus nicotinum or whatever the hell they call the genus of the plant or whatever it is. It grows fast. They pluck the leaves, they cure them, they put them in the pylones, they ferment them, and then they rest them for 3 years. So from seed to final sorting before rolling, you may be talking about just a little over 3 years. If somebody's advertising that the leaf in their cigar is 3 years old, that's like advertising that the hamburger has meat in it. Like it's like, you know, contains real beef. Like it's a regular thing. That should be that way. But if you take the leaf that's 1 year old, it won't be ready. And very often in the cigar making world, they say that the tobacco will tell you when it's ready, and they constantly testing it out. But after 1 year old, it would taste young. It would have like a lot of nastiness in the flavor, a lot of ammonia and stuff like that. Next question. Christopher Pew, 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 pew. What is the best butane fuel to use in your lighter? Dude, this is the last one we're going to take because I'm going to go on for a minute. And then we're going to, by the way, we're going to go to the after party on Rumble where we can talk more freely without the censorship of big tech. We're going to end it on YouTube. We're going to end it on Facebook and just go to Rumble for the after party this week. And I'll tell you this about butane. In the cigar world, there's a lot of people who are extremely opinionated about butane. I am not one of them. There are people who swear that only this brand of butane is good because it's purified 11 times or whatever it is, or
It's
only
monk
this
tears.
Yeah. It's only this one works. I only use this brand because all the other ones are crap and they have all these imperfections in them. I don't care. I use lots of different brands of butane. I keep bottles just in random places around the shop where I know where I'm going to be. I mean, the HQ, of course, is what I mean. It's not really actually a shop. I keep bottles random places around the HQ where I know I'm going to be to fill up my lighters. I got one by my desk. I got one on top of this humidor behind me. We got one up front in the front of the HQ.
One in every bathroom.
One in it. We have fuel in the bathroom.
Sorry, that was a bad joke.
Okay. But yeah, I probably have 2 or 3 different brands around here. Listen, if you're using some type of butane and it works in your lighter, use that. I mix different brands of butane together and I don't really have problems. And I use a lot.
Bill
of
Nye the
different types of
Science
lighters.
guy.
Yeah.
Mix in chemicals.
Mix
seeing
my
what
chemicals
happens.
together. I don't care. And by the way, somebody says Cigar Pyrofine. I keep Cigar on hand. Like, yeah, I think Cigar makes a very good butane. Merkid Ya says Zippo has butane. They also have a torch insert. I think Zippo's probably an industry standard. Like, their name is worth something. People know what Zippo means. I would trust their butane. You know, I use Vector butane. I use Cigar. I use a bunch of different ones. Lotus makes one that I've used before. Anyway, there you go. Listen, we're going to continue this show. The show must go on. Yes. Only we need to do it with fewer rules where we can say the things we want to say and do the things we want to do and talk about the stuff we really want to talk about. Like instead of comparing the price of this cigar to a Five Guys burger, I'd like to really be able to tell you the truth. So we're going to go to the after party now on Rumble. This week's Cigars Daily Plus is down, but you can go to Rumble right now where we're going to continue talking about the topic of this show, which is the Montecristo Espada Signature. And we're going to tell you a little bit more about Daily Con, which will have Eric Espinosa and a first look at the Espinosa Murcielago Echo Hail Daily Edition. Join us there for even more, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. Otherwise, stay tuned for another great episode next Monday. And if not, we'll see you at the after party on Rumble.
Feet burgers and live your lives.